fortresses and palaces, domes and minarets, intricate stonework and monumental arches. Chanderi, a town with a rich historical past that is still evident in the dramatic ruins that are scattered all over this valley and all over the surrounding hills. Chanderi is located close to the Betwa River in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. An erstwhile important and strategic location in the region, it houses the gateway from Malwa to Bundelkhand, with victory palaces situated in important areas of the town and the fort being the center of attraction for all tourists. Chanderi has seen some of the biggest battles in the history and is known to be an essential channel in the trade routes. With a humble population of 33,000 people, most of its residents practice the family profession of weaving or beadi making. Its people cherish their livelihoods and are like family to each other. The people here helped build Chanderi into what it is known for today. The Chanderi fabric. Using either silk or cotton or both, the fabric became celebrated for its sheer quality and its exquisite brocade work. Carrying forward the simplicity of its craft, a majority of people of Chanderi are into this humble profession of weaving, and the town is an extremely tranquil place to be in. In recent years, the town has seen the development in modernization of its craft at the grassroots level as well. It is growing its own silkworm colony, and they are fed mulberry leaves, and their fiber is extracted from them before they grow completely. The yarn is then wound around small rolls, making several small bobbins for the large finished silk bunch. In this complicated mechanism, the yarns from these bobbins pass through a network of needles and are separated carefully to be spun over a large wooden structure in the shape of a hexagon. Each bunch has varied number of yarns ranging from 2000 to 4800 yarns per bunch. When double plied, its count is up to 9600 yarns. After this, the bunch is sent for dyeing, where the dyers, according to the requirement of the client, color the yarns by mixing dye with lukewarm water. The yarns are turned over and over again to spread the color over the entire bunch. Chanderi artisans use the older system of preparing the warp roll. Upon receiving the roll of silk thread from the agent, they open and stretch it. 3 to 4 people are normally required for this process. The threads are adjusted on 2 iron hooks plugged into the ground. Since silk threads are very delicate and there are always chances of getting them entangled with each other, in this process, they are made to pass through 2 parallel thin bamboo sticks which are almost as long as the warp roll itself. The ends of the threads are tied to the warp roll at the desired interval that the weaver wants to keep between the 2 threads of the warp. This is normally 3 to 4 inches. Thus, the threads are distributed evenly on the Tana roll log. After this, the bundle is stretched to about 15 to 20 feet, and after every 6 to 7 feet, the threads are tied to the bamboo sticks through which they are passing, so that they don't get entangled. Using a rod passing through the Tana roll log, the log is rolled to wind the threads on it. The threads are wound on the roll till they reach the bamboo sticks. After this, they are untied from the bamboo sticks, and the bamboo sticks are again tied at a distance of 6 to 7 feet from the Tana log. A visit to one such household in Chanderi, where weaving runs throughout their family, helps us understand closely the daily routine of an independent weaver. Ibrahim Khan is a 70-year-old weaver dedicated to his profession since 50 years. What can be seen here is a process of joining 2 different sets of warp rolls. He uses the ash from the burnt dry leaves and other waste to join them. This is done to maintain the continuity in weaving. Once pieces are made, they are cut off from this joint and sent for finishing. The process of weaving starts by placing the warp roll at the extreme end of the loom. The threads are then attached to those coming out of the leftover threads of the previous work, called the ruche. Weavers here measure the length of the warp with the number of saris that can be made out of it. The width of the roll is 48 inches. After this, 3 actions are carried out simultaneously. With his right hand, the weaver pulls the string that provides motion to the shuttle carrying the weft bobbin across the threads of the warp. With his left hand, he provides an up and down motion to the heavy wooden frame of the loom that falls on the threads of the warp and weft to provide them with their respective places in the cloth. With both his legs, he provides the motion to the ruche. Zari threads procured especially from Surat are spun on wooden spinning wheels to make small reels and use them to create motifs while weaving. These motifs are mostly inspired by the architecture in Chanderi and today are digitally developed on a software called JagDraw. These threads are intertwined in between the warp and woven across the weft in the loom. Thus, for every movement of the loom, the reels must be turned in the warp as per the required design. The result is a beautiful stitchless motif on a sheer piece of fabric. A visit to Chanderi lets you experience this beautiful craft even more closely. Its architecture leaves you wanting more of a piece from the pages of history, and the people take you in as their own. In an era where such crafts are dying a quick and painful death, Chanderi has managed to stay alive just like its name, a bright starlit night shining in the color of the moon.